What's going on, guys? It's Chad. That UFC last night was absolutely ridiculous. Most of the fights that have been going on basically the entire year. I have watched virtually every single card from the UFC, from early prelims to the main event. When you actually sit down and watch the entirety of a card, including all of like the prelims and everything like that, even the early prelims, things that are on like Fight Pass, you really get to absorb the entire card when you watch the entire thing. It's really cool to watch these fighters that you know were in certain positions on the card make their way up into like main event cards and all sorts of stuff. So yesterday I made a prediction for the co-main and the main event for UFC 253. Become a Divine Master of War with the War Gods collection. Oh, this is edgy. I like it. Got this pistol here. This is nice. And we have Freya the Marksman rifle, and it's a KAR98. Ooh. I mean, this thing is clean. I might use this. This is nice. War Gods series. It's just written on the side. That's clean. All right, so the Freya variant. This one has the tack laser, stippled grip tape, sport comb, and they have a breacher device on the end of it for some reason. Why? It doesn't really make much sense to have this on there, but I mean, I guess I could take it off. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Are you guys really gonna be mad if I take off the breacher device? You know, I'm curious. I was thinking about this, right? And I know it sounds a little ridiculous, and it'll probably only work in small little niche situations. You know how the Kali sticks are pretty good in Warzone, and they can just smash through people's armors and stuff like that? I don't know if you guys watch any of the people that actually run around with knives and riot shields and stuff like that, like these knives only. Obviously, there are more people out there that knife and stuff like that, but for example, he's the top person that comes up in my head for this thing, and since those are actually pretty formidable weapons if you can get on top of somebody, when you run the breacher device, would that actually make a difference in your time to kill if you were trying to melee someone to death? It probably would, but given you won't get like a lunge or anything, it's pretty terrible. The breacher device is the most useless item in this game, probably. Next to like the flash guard, maybe. Muzzle brake is pretty legit from time to time. Believe it or not. I mean, maybe the variable zoom will look. I've been using this one recently, top notch. I've been liking this one. A lot of people are like using blue dot and stuff, and I might unlock this. I might take the time to actually unlock this blue dot, but I've been messing with this top notch right here. So what can we add here? I guess we could either do sleight of hand or focus. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna use this car while trying to actually unlock those reticles, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like it. As far as what the camos do to it, gold does this, platinum on this actually looks really clean. That looks super nice. Hey, I'm not even bullshit. I don't even care about platinum. This is clean. Then we got the Damascus, which is, you know, and then Obsidian obviously just doing its thing. The black tie affair for this thing is probably the coolest looking one, but to have it completely obsidian with that little like goat on the side over there is just ooh. So the UFC last night, I made the prediction for the co-main event and the main event, and co-main event was Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. I felt like Dominic Reyes was going to be able to use his size and athleticism and all that other stuff that felt like factors in the John Jones fight in comparison, but when he actually finally got in there though, I realized that doesn't actually have the reach advantage. It was a little bit taller and stuff. So look at this KAR98, man. This thing is clean. Ooh. Yes, teammate. I'm a real person. Holy fuck. That guy's sweaty too, I can tell. Requise is on the other team. Hit mark him. I don't deserve that hit marker. I'm sorry. I'm a much better player to land that shot close range than he is to kill me with a fucking Uzi. I wanted to just snipe, but this guy doesn't want me to snipe. So gross, man. Oh, he left the game. Why'd he leave? This guy's name is just Requise. I don't. Anyway, before people thought that that game was gonna win them some cash or something. So Jan and Dominic end up fighting each other, and yeah, I mean, Jan just ended up blasting through Reyes' guard. I expected Reyes to kind of approach the fight differently, but obviously, I mean, whenever you're fighting somebody like Jan that has all that power and stuff, obviously you're gonna have to fight a little bit differently. Oh, we're sweating, huh? Your name is Hit Bong, but the last thing you're doing is chilling. Every time Dom walked forward, he had to try to hit him from the outside, but Jan was explosive enough. Every time he tried to come in, he was able to still return and everything, and yeah, the power was just too much. He was punching clean through his guard, going straights right down the middle when he's blocking, and they're still going clean through him. I don't know if that's like a Reyes defense problem or it's like a Jan offense attribute or whatever, but he was placing his shots really well around his guard, basically, and was hurting him real bad. Finished him in the second round. Definitely definitely not the result I was expecting. I mean, that John Jones fight when he felt like, you know, oh, I won that fight and all this other stuff. This is something where he's not going to be able to, in his mind, try to make it feel like a victory in some way. He knows that it's a loss. He knows that it's a clear loss. And that might do something amazing for him. Like, as an athlete, as a person, as a competitor, there are a lot of fighters out there that when they finally did go and lose, were able to realize a lot more things that they were pretty blind to before. I mean, it just kind of happens that way. Who knows if, like, the humble pie or whatever anybody wants to call it or whatever. I don't think Dominic was too cocky about it. I think maybe he definitely underestimated Jan. But I don't think he was ever disrespecting Jan or whatever, so he'll still be a top competitor at 205. But for now, Jan is just, you know, the king at 205. And then in the main event, we had Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. And we were talking about it, how, you know, Costa is going to be the guy that's going to step forward. He's going to walk into Izzy's range. He's going to try to walk through all of his defenses and just kind of smash him. That's what a lot of people were hoping. Like, oh, Izzy, all he does is run. There's no fighter out there that really, truly is running. They're in the cage. They're not running. They can't fight defensively. You can fight on the outside. You can use your footwork and stuff like that, but there is no running. See, I get a lot of PC lobbies. A lot of people say because you plug a controller in on PC, you get mainly controller players. I mean, I get a lot of PC players just from being on PC. KAR98 is actually so clean. I feel like they probably have made a KAR98 that's very similar to this, but something about the platinum that's on this one is just... gross office player. Ew. So, Costa tried to do what he said he was gonna do, just walk into Israel's range, kick him really hard in his skinny, small body. Super Chad-like answers, you know. Usually the reason that people become great counter-strikers and shit like that is usually with the idea that there's going to be an aggressive opponent coming at you straight forward, right? So, I feel like in my head anyway, that's why if I were to sit here and, like, spend a whole lot of years, if I were to able to, like, start over and tell me to, hey, like, if you're gonna pick a fighting style, what would you do? I'm thinking of, like, people that are much bigger than me, much stronger than me, and I'm gonna be thinking, how do I beat people like this? So with that in mind, in my head, it's perfect that I'm gonna have somebody that's ultra aggressive, not very fast. They're going to, quote, press forward no matter what and kick me and beat up my small, skinny body. It's like, okay, these are the things that I would hope that my opponent would do, because the thing that I would do a whole bunch to people whenever I was playing against people in UFC as Requise before, I've done this a couple times back on UFC 2 and stuff, for example, where I would run into a player that all they're doing is backing up, backing up, backing up, and then once Requise stands still and stops pressing forward, they have no idea what to do. Counter-strikers are not usually always the most confident when they're coming forward. They'll attack you with certain things, but it's not, you know, not that you can't finish people with counters. I mean, obviously, I mean, watch the fight. Israel, basically, this whole fight, like I was saying, was, it looked like it was tailor-made for him, but the thing is, it's always scary trying to say things with kind of confidence on this, because things on paper are not the same as, how they'll actually work out. So, if I sat there and thought, oh, what's a really easy fight for somebody like Adesanya, I go, somebody that's ultra-aggressive, somebody that's gonna press forward, and someone that's gonna swing a lot. And he got the perfect person for it, and he was able to perfectly display his skills. Now, he was saying that he was gonna do this anyway. I think even Israel himself is even surprised that he didn't actually throw something out of left field or something like that to surprise him like Romero did. If we're thinking about it from like fighting like anime characters, anime villains or whatever in his own story, usually your next fighter is supposed to try to teach you another lesson. And it felt like with Romero, it was one of those things. He said it was a dip in his story where his character kind of like learns things and sees things and hears things that he doesn't usually hear. It allows him to adjust and take it in and everything. I felt like, you know, Costa might have been able to throw something at him that'll teach him like, hey, maybe you're not as defensively sound as you think you are, or something. But no, he just absolutely schooled him, did it exactly how you thought it was gonna go. And he made it look really easy, honestly. It was really entertaining. I'm not getting any kills with this while I'm talking, but I don't really care. Got to play the game though, at least, so there's that. Might just start using the M13 in Warzone, honestly. This weird stuff happens with my aim and like recoil and stuff like that. Might as well just use the gun that literally I don't need to think of anything. For a long time I sat around and was like, yeah, I'm gonna use these super souped up weapons and stuff. I'm gonna pick things that have super high damage and I'm just gonna beam people with them anyway. I'm good enough. The reality of it is, why even bother? With the flinch in this game, you might as well just go with something that's just weaker, that is just guaranteed to hit people, and they likely won't be able to return fire and out, you know, shoot you anyway. Not while they're getting shot, so yeah, that's my plan, probably. See, my PC right here says encoding overloaded. I'm not doing anything. I'm recording my game, capped at 80 FPS in the menu, and I have OBS open. There's no reason to say that shit, but hey, once that 3090's here with that AMD rig, we'll see if I have a processing problem, encoding problem. We'll see.